Hello, Tiger fans. Mark Fitzpatrick is off today, so Paul Blackman filling in. We have as our guest today at Tiger Club the publisher of PowerMizzou's.com, Gabe DeArmond. Gabe, welcome to the Tiger Club. Again, what is this, like 10, 15 years?
I've been in PowerMizzou for 20, so I don't know how long have you
been coming to Tiger Club?
Probably close to that.
Close to that, right. Let's briefly go through the sports. Your thoughts on the status of our men's basketball program?
Good in a mid-major league, maybe not quite ready for top 10 teams quite yet. Saturday was fun until the game started, obviously. And realistically, we probably should have known, that this is a little too much to bite off this early. But overall, like the recruiting, like the energy, I think Dennis Gates knows what he's doing and is going to get it going. I just think it's not going to be overnight.
The crowd, and I was there, was dynamite. An hour before the game, the students were just frenetic. Do you see that some people who don't regularly go might have said, this is fun? Now, should we get a bump in attendance from that game?
Yeah, the crowds leading up to KU have been better than I expected. Now, not sold out or anything, but 7,000, 8,000, 9,000 fans at some of these games, which are pretty good considering what the schedule's been and that they played at such a weird time. So I think it will be a better crowd than it was last year. People are still excited. They're not going to let that one game kill them. But 15,000 at that decibel level probably isn't happening.
Not happening. Aiden Shaw has looked like a pretty good addition. He's the only freshman on the team. The three guys that he signed so far, do they look like they're top quality also, at least in the Aiden Shaw range?
Yeah, they're top 150-ish players in the country, all of them somewhere between, I think, like 75 and 150, which is the range Missouri needs to live in. The totally off-the-radar guys with very other little Power 5 interests, that should be the exception rather than it's kind of become the rule. But yeah, Trent Pierce, the Anthony Robinson, and the third guy's Jordan Butler out of South Carolina, they're all kind of in that range of guys that you look at and say, hey, they're top 150 players. Maybe kind of like Aiden, don't step on campus day one in the starting lineup, but guys that years 2 and 3 you would think are starters.
So with the experience that Dennis Gates and C.Y. Young have,
C.Y. Young.
Have in recruiting, would you say that recruiting is arcing upward better than it was, say, in the Martin or the Anderson years?
Yeah, it's looking up. They are recruiting more like a program on Missouri's level, I think, should recruit. You're starting to see they have kind of a type, right? Like a 6'8" guy that you go, is he a power forward or is he a shooting guard? Look at Florida State. They're building the roster that Conzo always told us he kind of planned to build but never really built.
Never got there. Let's switch over to football. The Gasparilla Bowl comes up in 10 days. It's hard to really make any predictions because we don't know who Wake Forest is going to put on the field and who we are. But in general, is that a good landing spot for the Tigers?
It's fine. It fits what they wanted, which was a game that gets kids home by December 24th. I tend to kind of look at all these games and say, they're all about the same. But if I've always wanted in a bowl game, like, give me a matchup that I'm not going to see all the time, right? Like, I don't want to go see them play Oklahoma State again. I've seen that 100 times. They've never played Wake. It's in a different place. So, yeah, that's kind of interesting. I like Tampa. Excellent Cuban sandwiches, so good for fans.
Burns Steakhouse. You can't miss that. There you go. Recruiting, and we'll wrap up with this. Recruiting in football. How do you think it's going so far? And is it at least in the same league with the first couple classes that Eli had?
Rankings-wise, it's a step down from that, certainly. It's, I think it's like 35th right now by our rankings, which is, if 35th is the down year, you're fine. This is a very similar class to what Missouri used to sign under Pinkel, 4-4-stars, something like that, mid-30s. That's what Gary did a lot. It's not 12 like it was last year, or 21 like it was the year before. It's a little bit smaller. Numbers hurt it. And the portal has changed things. Now I don't think they're probably going to sign really any more high school kids, maybe one or two. But I think now it's mostly going to be transfers from here on out.
Very good. I want to tell you all that 2 days from now, we're doing this on Tuesday the 13th. On Thursday the 15th, we will have a Zoom meeting, Zoom only, with Danny Hyder, who is expert in high school football players, mostly in the state of Missouri. So join us there. Gabe, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Paul.
Next week, here at the flea market, we will have Stephen St. John, so we hope to see you then.